What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And today we're here with the new turtle farming event titled Can I Have a Piece of Your Hair or Your Nails? Which is crazy, right? Yamato out here just wanting to steal our bodies. But this event's, a pretty typical turtle farming event that we get at the start of every single month. This Yamato is pretty cool. At least the artwork is actually pretty neat. I don't think the character is like amazing. There is definitely some things I would, change about the unit overall, so we'll briefly just touch up on what this character actually does. So a quick striker free spirit, so good classes across the board there. -1 cooldown to the crew, reducing 3 turns of paralysis and bind, and then you get the damage reduction effect on your side of the field. So any damage that exceeds 5,000 is reduced by 80% for 1 turn. And also your quick and side characters' chain multiplier growth rate for their normal attacks is increased, meaning if they hit a good or a perfect, it's a 0.4 instead of a 0.3, but if they hit a great, it's a 0.1. So it's weird that that kind of effect actually occurs there. But then it says after 1 turn has passed, you get the same effect in the following turn, except it's going to be up to 0.5. Overall, it's just minor chain increases, and it just feels like this unit feels incomplete. I feel like this unit deserves like a super evolution. I wouldn't be surprised if this unit, is like a free-to-play 5+ style unit, because I just think that these effects seem a little lacking. The fact that this unit doesn't have double special launch means that the 3-turn removal of paralysis and bind is kind of dumb, because in a lot of content, if you're inflicted with those debuffs, at least in modern content, it's more than 3 turns. So this type of effective removal is pretty lame. I'm not a big fan of it. It is kind of a shame though, because the artwork for this character looks so freaking good. But that is the quick breakdown that we have here for the new Yamato character. But in terms of the event itself, we'll go through all of the gimmicks throughout this video. But there's going to be Chopper Man missions that are obviously related to this, and depending on how many of these turtles you pick up, you can pick up some nice rewards, including lots of Hime turtles, level limit break posters of course, and I think up to 50 rainbow gems by completing all of the missions. There is also a two Sugo Fest exclusive tickets, which is great, and then you get a guiding key at the end, which you can use to limit break expand some of your characters. So it's a pretty typical turtle farming event, like nothing really too crazy to even speak about. But of course, you want to try ahead and farm this, get the rewards, get the character maxed out, because the character inevitably will be useful in the upcoming treasure map throughout the month of March. So that's pretty much it in terms of the introduction to the video. Let's go ahead and get into the 4 separate teams that I have for you guys in today's video. So kicking things off with the first team, of course, this is going to be using as many boosters as we possibly can, and I understand that not everyone is going to be able to build this specific team. I just want to show you guys the team that I will be using to farm it with. There are going to be a couple of other teams you can look at in this video, but look, at the end of the day, because of the nature of this event, nothing is stopping you from playing the low stamina with as many boosters as possible. If you are challenged with this quest, don't fret, you can go ahead, use your full boosters, run auto on the low stam. It's not that difficult when you run it in that sense, so that is definitely something you can do. With a friend captain of either the new Luffy or the new Ace is going to be the best way forward if you are struggling just a little bit. But there's a lot of different gimmicks in this quest, and if you don't have some of these top tier boosters that they are recommending, then yeah, it is going to be kind of hard, especially characters like Cat Viper and Dogstorm with their recent super evolution. They're actually really good in this quest on multiple stages. The final tap Luffy is so good here because he synergizes well with Ace, but also due to the fact that Luffy gets access to some really powerful supports that allow you to remove some of the gimmicks that you'll encounter in this quest. And of course, due to Ace and his batch, they're basically built for this quest, so of course they're going to be very useful here. Stage 3 can be difficult if you don't have the new Luffy, like I do in my situation here, but at the end of the day, due to supports and how OP they are in today's day and age, you usually can get through it without too much harm. Moving on to the second team, and I want to give a shout out to my girl Karissa for coming up with this team composition. Once again, it does use that Brook support attached to Luffy. However, you can actually go ahead and use the support of Hyogoro, which is another treasure map rare recruit character you can put on Luffy. And if you do plan the team out correctly and you use Luffy's super type to reduce the cooldown of the Sanji once again on the final stage, you will actually be able to remove all of the attack down that gets inflicted on the final battle, which is actually really good. So this is a team comp that you could look at if you were lucky enough to pull the rare recruits, but unfortunately not able to pull the Luffy or the Ace just yet. It does use the free-to-play Yamato. You can go ahead and pick her up from the event if you just farm the low stamina once with some boosters. You'll drop a couple of turtles and you'll be able to go ahead and get this Yamato for free. I just leveled her up and gave her some cotton candy and stuff like that. So having Yamato on the team is a really nice change. One thing that I will suggest, if you do opt to use this team, make sure to use Ace's super type first on battle 4 and then use your Ganryu support special and then Skull, because what will this enable you to do is that when you reach the final stage, you won't have a 2x attack boost from the Ganryu special. It will only be a 1 turn of attack boost, which means that on the last stage when you do use Luffy special, you're going to be getting his 3x attack boost, which is much more significant and is required in order for you to actually kill this stage. So if you are using that team, just wanted to let you guys know about that. Very, very important that you use Ace's super type first, then use Leonero and Ganryu's special. Moving on now to a Cat Viper and Dogstorm team. This is not one of the best teams out there in terms of earning turtle drops because of the fact that we're using, we're not using the Ace or the Luffy friend captain, but by using double Dog and Cat, it actually enables us to ignore the Despair completely on Battle 3 because of their swap effect. Now, I did plan this team out not very effectively. You could just use it so that you keep the super swap for the final stage to guarantee you a full board of slots, but the team works out well either way. The thing is you're not allowed to get an orb boost on the last stage, no matter what, right? Unless if you have an orb boost on stage 4 and you carry it into the room. And no, you can't use hit a certain amount of perfects to get an orb boost, like using a Cat Viper Dogstorm special. No, you have to have 3-turn orb boost in stage 4 and carry that into the last stage, because the enemy Yamato does put an immunity buff on your crew where it says that you're not allowed to put an orb boost on your team no matter what you do. So it is kind of annoying that that is the case. It does make some team building scenarios a bit more tricky, considering the enemy has 40 million HP on the final stage with a 10 million HP barrier. So you have to do 50 million damage to actually kill this enemy in the first place, which is pretty annoying. Luckily, the special ability of Dogstorm and Cat Viper is really strong on the final stage, because with the 6+, and I'm not too sure if the level limit break has anything to do with this, but their special does remove 6 turns of attack down and 6 turns of chain coefficient reduction, which are the 2 debuffs that you actually receive on stage 5. So by using the Dog and Cat special on the final stage, you are restricted to only using 2 specials on that last stage, but if you do plan out your team in having relatively good buffs that you can carry into this stage, the Dog and Cat special is really strong, and due to statistical increases by being on the boosted list, these characters will be doing more damage than normal. And once again, Luffy on the team isn't really boosted by Dog and Cat, but they have such good support. I do have Halloween Boa Hancock on the Luffy here, not really required due to the fact that Buggy does give you a chain boundary which you receive in Battle 3. So this team is actually pretty solid, all things considered. It just doesn't really have the boosted friend captain. Moving on to the next team, this is just a really fun team that I wanted to go ahead and try out utilizing Prime Whitebeard. Obviously there's not a lot of content in the game where this character is going to be super optimal for, but this is actually one of those cases where he receives cooldown at the start of the quest and you're going to be able to use him to farm this quest very quickly in terms of time spent per run. Unfortunately, it's not the best team in terms of total drops once again because we are using, you know, a little bit of a less boosted friend captain. I wonder actually you could probably go ahead and use like an Ace or a Luffy friend captain because, you know, a lot of your crewmates will still be boosted and stuff like that. You probably can still get away with that for sure, but it's really cool by using the Whitebeard special on stage 3 and then using his super class special on both Whitebeards. We can make the orb boost from his special actually last for 5 turns, which means that we can carry it all the way through to stage 4 and to stage 5. And then by using Whitebeard special on the last stage, we already have an orb boost, so we get an attack boost instead, and because we're below the threshold, we get that buffed attack boost, which is so good. And then the Dogstorm Cat Viper special on the final stage does provide us with a color affinity boost, and the super swap allows us to get a full board of matching slots. Remember that the special ability of Yamato can provide you with the utility that you can require here, as well as giving you some tap timing chain bonuses for stage 4 and stage 5. This is a really fun team for sure, but not the best in terms of total drops. As I said, if you are finding it a little bit difficult, go ahead and use your full boosters on the low stam. You can get it done pretty easily there. Anyways, that is going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.